821 here, Big 550 KTRS. Let's talk a little movies, a little entertainment with our good friend David Blaustein, friend of the show, ABC News entertainment editor. Good morning, David Blaustein.
Good morning.
Good morning this morning. Good to hear your voice.
Good to hear you.
Let's start.
Is that Aaron with you?
That is
good
Aaron
morning.
O'Neill Hayes, yes.
Hello, Aaron.
Hello.
Let's talk Ted 2. If I hadn't seen the first one, am I going to be lost with the second one?
Is it just as funny?
Well, you know, it's a beer drinking, cursing, pot smoking, offensive teddy bear. I don't think you could get very lost
Okay. All
about
right.
that. I mean, it helps a little bit to have seen the first one. I don't know if you necessarily need to see the first one to see this one, but it helps. And if you love the first one, you're going to love the second one.
Really?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
All right.
they do a good job here. I think there's an extraneous plot line, really not necessary, probably adds about 20 minutes to the movie, but you're still going to laugh just as much. And Amanda Seyfried is a great replacement for Mila Kunis. I mean, great, maybe even better. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Amanda Seyfried. I think she's tremendously talented, and I think one of the things about her, she has a great sense of humor, and there's a running joke in this movie about a particular fictional character that she looks like, which is not very nice, but she goes along with it, and it's very, very solid. And the other thing I liked about this is, it might sound silly to you, but I think based on a moment in this movie, you could really tell how Mark Wahlberg has evolved as an actor, which sounds ridiculous because how does he evolve as an actor in an R-rated offensive comedy?
Right.
There's a scene in which, well, there are many scenes in which he's asked to act high in this movie, but there's one scene in particular where he has to act very, very high, and his level of commitment it's some of the best work I've ever seen him do. And I used to be of the mind that Mark Wahlberg was vastly overrated, and I think there are a lot of other people who felt that way too. And if you've ever seen Andy Samberg's impersonation of him on Saturday Night Live, like,
hilarious.
"Hey, goat, you're a goat, right?" I mean, that really captured the essence of Mark Wahlberg in every single movie. But and the times he was nominated for an Oscar, it was as if, all right, well, you deviated from that momentarily, so here's an Oscar nomination. I don't really think he deserved it, but I have really grown to love Mark Wahlberg as an actor, and I think doing the Ted movies because I don't think it's a coincidence. Over the past couple of years, you've seen him do work that is much better. That's an improvement, and I think it's really helped him. So I think there's that as well. There are some celebrity cameos in this movie, and we know celebrity cameos don't always work in movies. They just don't. They happen. They're supposed to be funny. Every celebrity cameo in this movie is terrific. So I'm giving this one 4 out of 5 stars.
Wow.
I heard Mark's wife didn't want him to do this movie originally. You know, it's like, you're going to do a movie with a talking bear, and obviously she's eating those words now.
Yeah, well, probably because the temptation for his kids to want to see it would be too great, and there's no way his kids should be seeing this movie. There is one of the most disgusting, grossest sight gags you will ever see in this movie. I mean, I think it's ridiculously funny, but it's hard to look at the screen while this happens. But anyway.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to Wahlburgers and grab a burger while I'm up there. All right.
I believe they just opened one in Coney Island here in New York.
Philadelphia, too. They opened one.
Nice. All right, let's go. Max, the actor, was here in studio about this dog, the young actor who was doing the rounds. He was here. What did you think of the movie Max?
Yeah, I'm glad this isn't one of those situations where, David, what do you think of the movie? Oh, well, the star of the movie's sitting right here.
Yeah, we're not going to do that again. That didn't work so well.
That was the greatest moment of my entire career.
That should be in a movie somewhere.
Does Erin know about that?
No.
No, our good friend Emily Giffen had a book turned into a movie.
That stunk.
That was nuanced. And David Blaustein, I don't know what I was thinking. So she was on the phone. He pans the movie, and then she argues with him over it.
Oh no!
And he didn't know she was there. Yeah, and that was.
But I held my ground.
You did. You did very well.
I did not change my mind.
I did not do very well, and I did not hold my ground either.
But look, I mean, I'm sure, I'm sure she's a terrific person, and I'm sure the book is very good. It's just sometimes it just doesn't translate.
That's exactly right. The book was great. She had nothing to do with the movie, but she was trying to defend the movie.
She felt insulted. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I don't think Max is based on a book. And even if it is, I can't imagine this book being very good.
All right.
Max, just the bottom line, it stinks. It should be a good family film. It's completely 100% misguided. It's got major continuity issues. The production value isn't very good. I'll tell you what, that kid was good. I mean, actually, what I would tell, if he was sitting in studio, I would say to him, I think you're good. I think you're going to be a star. I just think the script was beneath everybody in the movie.
Wow.
When the best line in the movie is a dog barking, you have an issue. McGraw, Aaron, there's a scene in this movie where these three kids, where that guy and his two friends are wading through a stream with their bicycles, and in at least 5 feet of water. It's up to their necks. And at one point, he falls in. He steps he steps into like a shelf, and it dips to like 7 or 8 feet. And his friend dives into the water, under the water, pulls him out, then goes back, rescues his bicycle, and 5 minutes later, his cell phone rings.
Maybe he has the
No.
news.
No. It is a flip phone from 2002.
Okay, so it's not the new Samsung waterproof Galaxy
Waterproof
7.
case.
No.
or something,
This
yeah.
movie does everything in its power to cut corners, and I applaud that. I love it when, look, I'm trashing this movie, but I'm trashing it knowing perfectly well that making a movie is hard work. I mean, it's a big chunk of time. Logistically, there's so much that goes into it. Each movie unto itself is like a business venture. It's its own living, breathing business, and everybody gets paid to do it, and they generally work long hours, and especially when you're doing low-budget stuff, you're probably shooting guerrilla style. I know it was hard work, but I think they really spun their wheels with this movie. Having said that, I'm sure that there will be some people taken with the sentimentality. I mean, it's a movie about a dog who is in the Marines, so there's that. There's a kid involved. It's hard to dislike those moments with the dogs and the sentimental moments, but it's not that hard to dislike it because it's so dumb.
All right, fair enough. Quickly, while we still have you, you sat down with The Bachelorette? Is that did I hear that?
Jealous?
No, I'm not,
Yes.
I'm boycotting.
Jealous a bit?
I'm boycotting this season.
Why?
I don't know. I didn't like the 2-for-1 deal in the
Well,
beginning.
it's not. Now it's well. I'll tell you. I mean, Caitlin has a great personality. I mean, she's look. I'm not a fan of the show. Part of my job, though, is if I have to watch it, I think it's produced well. I love Chris Harrison. I love
him
talking
too.
to him.
Yes.
And every time I have to interview, not every time, there were a couple that I interviewed that I did not enjoy, but for the most part, when I have to interview a bachelor or a bachelorette or the bachelor and the woman he picked or the bachelorette and the guy she picked, I usually have a great time with them, usually.
Right.
And Caitlin was no exception. She was a lot of fun. She was very open, but and I happened to speak to her on a day where they aired an episode where she slept with a guy.
Right. Which sounds to me like you could have interviewed her after any of the shows, and that would have been the same results.
Probably. But what I will say is that by the time I got to her, she had been interviewed 7 or 8 times, and,
Right.
and even before we started the interview, she was talking about it. So
Right.
which made it a lot easier.
Yeah, that's why I don't like it, because when they're classier, I think they're better. So they've sort of.
Yeah, sure, because it probably plays into your fantasy.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's David Blaustein here on the Big 550 KTRS. David, have a good week. Thanks.
You too.
Bye,
Take
David.
care. Bye-bye.
8:30 KTRS. Hey, this weekend when you